What would these look like on you the more I think about it?
Let's find out. Brings back memories of that Michael Jackson episode I did.
Elwood!
You want him back?
Balls in your court.
Here you go.
Okay. Easy to
Glasses on top of glasses.
Glasses on top of glasses. Glasses on top of head. This is the best pizza in a cup I had. They ran the guys out of town.
Oh my god, that was...
this.
Oh, that was really good.
This ranks high with Black Phone. It is that good.
Yes, that was amazing.
It was hard because we were trying to find the right time when to see this because it's a 2.5-hour film.
Yeah.
But it flies.
Yes.
It literally flies in the kinds of story it's trying to tell.
Yes.
What do you think of Austin Butler as Elvis?
He was amazing, especially at the end of the movie. They do show actual Elvis footage of, legit Elvis. And at first I'm like, is that still the actor? And I'm like, wait a minute, I think that's actually Elvis. So I thought that was really impressive because they did such a good job casting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had the voice down, he had the mannerisms down. I think a lot of the singing was him. Like, he did fantastic. He was amazing.
I was so tempted to snicker near the end because when they do that, when they show the actor in the real life footage, you could hear some of the people behind us going, "That's the real Elvis. That's the real Elvis. That's the real Elvis." And it kind of reminded me of an episode of Freakazoid, where for no reason him, his partner Cosgrove, and his Scotsman mentor Roddy McStew, because of course Scotsman mentor go to see Congo. And Cosgrove just goes, "Look, it's an ape. Now it's a man in a suit. Oh, look, well, it's a real ape. No, it's a man in a suit. Well, how can you tell the difference?" We gotta see this movie again just to see if I'm right or wrong. Look, that's the real Elvis. No, it's not. But no, my God, hands down, if he does not get nominated for Best Actor, whether it's for a Golden Globe or Academy Award, I'm gonna be shocked because he nails the personality to a T. I don't know if it's him singing or if they just use
I heard that
audio.
he did most of the singing. I think some of it was the real Elvis, but I think a lot of the singing was actually him.
Right, because with Bohemian Rhapsody, I think it was like a mix, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is a great performance. Emotionally, physically, you really feel the presence of Elvis. It's almost up there with Jim Carrey's Andy Kaufman. It is that good. It's not just a recreation of the celebrity. It's a dead-on impersonation. And there have been many Elvis impersonators that exist in our long, long time, but this one, it goes beyond the moon. That is how good this is.
Yes.
You feel the raw emotion. You feel what he's going through. When he's literally in this situation near the end that almost feels like out of a horror movie, where he's trapped in this casino and forced to perform under his own will. You really feel the tragedy of this character and why he's celebrated further on.
Yeah, and they had the movie be somewhat narrated by the Colonel, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not the bad guy." It's like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh, we'll get to that in a moment, because there's a lot. That is almost the tipping scale for me. If you just cut out the stuff with Tom Parker, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a great, solid, tragic figure film. It does more than just celebrate an icon. It shows the short-sightedness, how much we've lost, how much spirit and soul he put into everyone. This is a guy that said, if you want to say something, do it through song. And they really do show that. Like when he's obligated to do this Christmas special that Mr. Colonel wants to do with sleigh bells and snow and all this stuff. And then when you see the kind of thing he wants to do, which has more emotion and heart and energy, oh my God. It is just so refreshing to see his take. And then Parker to go, yeah, but the show is my idea, so it kind of counts as something I did. And you see the tragedy and the sliminess just out of this. You want to punch this guy so much.
I give Tom Hanks credit. He did a fantastic job being such a slimeball as this character. And just, the narration worked too, because it's like, you don't feel bad for the Colonel, because it's like, no, you're an asshole.
You see that thing I told him not to do? He did it because I told him not to do it, so technically it's my idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then him blackmailing him because he wants to cut ties, and then trying to be like, oh, I'm Because that is
And he wants to do this whole international tour. Well, it's not a spoiler because you can look online.
Yeah, because again, this is a biopic, so it's not. We're not. This is a biopic based off of what happened in real life. So
I got Chasing the Frog up here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this movie did dramatize stuff, but from what I think, I think Priscilla, I think, saw this and she approved of it.
She did. I did see a lot of advertisements about it, and I think she approved it.
Yeah. That's a good sign of family members who, they approve of something.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Tom Hanks was fantastic as the Colonel. Like, I just wanted to reach through the screen and slap him, strangle him. It's like, oh my God, you're such a douche. And you keep forgetting it's Tom Hanks playing him. He did great. It was a good movie. Like, I felt like the opening bit was a little, which after I, got more into the movie, it didn't bother me as much, but it seemed like the beginning of the movie kind of jumped all over the place, but I think that's just the style of this director, because he was like that with Great Gatsby, and definitely with Moulin Rouge.
Baz Luhrmann is great with eye candy.
Yeah.
In terms of storytelling, it has an MTV quality to it that's very unique. It's very flashy. It's a lot of quick cutting.
Yeah.
A lot of fast editing.
Yeah.
You see all these grand, almost operatic-like settings. Like the carnival in this movie. It has like this grand operatic feel to it, but there's something dark and sinister, but there's a beauty to it.
Yeah.
And he's great at doing stuff like that. Romeo and Juliet, The Great Gatsby.
Oh, I didn't know he did Romeo and Juliet. That makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
That was like one of his big out.
Kate Winslet was not in that.
Who was?
I don't know her name, but it was not Kate Winslet. You're thinking of Titanic.
That's because I saw Titanic on the big screen when I was 7, my dear.
I did too. At a drive-in theater, actually.
Oh, really? I envy you for that reason now. I saw that in theaters and they were playing that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the opening credit stuff heavily reminded me of Great Gatsby. I'm like, oh, this is the director of Great Gatsby. You want to know how I can tell?
Who? Clara Danes. What did she move on to?
I don't know if she's been in anything recently, but she was one of those 90s actresses.
Homeland, Stardust.
Oh, yes.
Terminator 3. She was also in Little Women, the 1984 version. But, I'm not really a big fan of Baz Luhrmann. I think he's okay. I like it when he does visual stuff. But when he's telling a story, there seems to be a running theme throughout a lot of them, and that's love, romance. And that's a lot when you consider a lot of the movies he's done previously. Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge, Great Gatsby. It's always a recurring theme. You see a little of that here, but it's more telling a story of a person that rose to fame and he was trapped in it.
Yeah.
And I think on the way he communicates that, both visually and performance-wise, is very, very intriguing. I think that is the strength of this movie that will hold pretty high.
Yeah.
A lot of his films, I don't love or hate them. I think they're fine, well-crafted features. But to be honest, he's a perfect choice for something like this.
Yeah.
To show the glitzy beauty, but also the sinisterness, too.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very, very... what do you think of Baz Luhrmann, out of curiosity?
I remember liking Moulin Rouge, and I remember liking Romeo and Juliet. I thought Romeo and Juliet was very unique because it took place in a modern setting, but they still had them talking like, Shakespearean.
Pull up your dagger.
And I loved Great Gatsby because that was one of my favorite books when I was a kid, and I thought he just did a fantastic job adapting it. Like, I felt like it was a near perfect adaptation. Obviously, it didn't include every single thing, and it made some changes, but the changes that it made I thought worked really well.
Justified in a sense.
Yes,
yeah.
And I just like the casting. Like, the cinematography was great, the casting was great. The soundtrack was great because, yes, it was modern day music, but it matched the 20s, the energy of the 20s. And this movie, I'd say, is pretty high up there. Like, I think I might still like Great Gatsby a little bit better, but by like a tiny bit. I would say it's probably like a tie between Elvis and Great Gatsby as his favorite films.
It's been a while since I've seen Great Gatsby, and I remember liking that just fine.
Yeah, Amanda and I, that's one of the movies that we like to rewatch. My sister and I our favorite movies we rewatch all the time. We love rewatching Titanic. We love rewatching The Great Gatsby. The first 2 Mummy movies. I pretend the third one never happened because no.
Not even for the Yetis?
No, I'm sorry. I love Brendan Fraser, but
She
no.
speaks Yeti!
But no, that movie, it's like, no.
I don't know. The only 2 things I remember is the Yetis and Jet Li as the Mummy. That's about it.
Yeah, and then they ruined Alex. They made him into a cute little kid in the second movie to a, I don't want to be like my dad. And my British accent turned into a really bad American accent that would turn into an Australian accent.
I don't know. Maybe he saw some action movies at the time and said, I want to be just like that action hero, so I'm going to talk just like
Yeah,
him.
he was like how Susan was in the beginning of the first Fanfic Critic Show. Her accent was so atrocious.
Yeah.
But with him, it did not get better. I think he eventually just went into an American, kind of like a weird. It's been ages since I've seen The Mummy 3 because I only watched it once and I'm like, never again. But from what I remember, his accent was just not consistent.
Speaking of accents, could you get past Tom Hanks' voice during his Colonel Parker? Because I was so close to snickering at times.
Well, I need to hear what the actual guy sounded like in order to make a judgment. I'm assuming the guy spoke kind of weirdly.
I wonder.
Because I did like Tom Hanks' performance. The voice was a little off, but again, that might have been
snowman.
That
You're
might
going
have been
to make it snow.
That might have been deliberate. I'm guessing.
Man, I must hear.
I'm sure they have audio clips of that guy.
They gotta be. They gotta be. We must hear what he sounds like.
He's himself a legend, a showbiz pro with an all-time carny man's flair for bringing them into the tent. Colonel Tom Parker.
Okay, here we go.
Colonel Parker, and to those who don't know it, let's tell them right now that Elvis's success was part Elvis, part Colonel Parker. Which part was yours? Because that was the less visible part.
I think mine was the least part.
He sounds like Charles Nelson Riley.
What did you do for him to help bring him to the public's attention?
I did all the promotion, the outdoor advertising, and he did the show on the stage, and the fans made it possible. You can promote all you want to, but if the people don't want to buy a ticket, it doesn't help. So I did my part, Elvis did his show, and we were lucky. Great talent, we had a great show and a lot of fun.
Now, let me ask
you.
That's tough. Like, I'd say Tom Hanks kind of sounded like that, but he kind of added like a weird accent to it.
A weird Germany kind of accent.
Yes, which he doesn't. The real guy did not have that accent, so
he sounds like my grandfather. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, because I think it was implied that he came from Poland or Holland originally.
Though my grandfather has more of a Scottish kind of brooch, so. Let's see here.
I mean, aside from the weird accent, the accent, his
Dutch,
okay.
Dutch-born entrepreneur. I was surprised he was born in the Netherlands, and he immigrated illegally at the age of 20. His real name was Andreas Cornelius van Kujic.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised they threw in a little nod to something he actually did to get him famous at carnivals. You know that dancing chicken act you briefly saw?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what the chickens are really dancing on?
What?
First off, thanks to The Simpsons for pointing this out during their trivia track. Hot plates.
What? They were torturing the poor things?
Now you're gonna hate the guy even more after I told you that. He was that devious. He was that devious.
I don't care if we eat chickens, you still treat them humanely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no.
Come see my dancing chickens. Increase the heat.
Oh, that is awful.
No. God,
that's torture. I'm kind of glad that circuses are... I don't think they do that stuff now, but I'm kind of glad that they're kind of dying away because some of the things they would do to the animals, and even the people they would treat like bad, especially like the people that, had like mutations and they would be sideshow freaks. They treated them like shit.
Come see the walnut person. Yeah. I am not surprised you didn't know about that, but at the same time, I'm surprised they did throw in a little detail like that into this film. But yeah, going back to Tom Hanks, the makeup's... Did you think, for a split second, it looked a little too similar to what they did to Colin Farrell in The Penguin?
Not really, no.
Because of the way the nose is kind of bent a little bit.
Maybe a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. He looked like a Batman villain in a biopic. I don't know what it is, but looking past that, you can tell he's really doing great physically. The way he's staring at Elvis, the way he's, trying to get things his way, that's the part is great. But you can tell there's great commitment there, performance, in a visual standpoint. When he has that accent, it almost threw me off. But just seeing how he was so hands-on with the Elvis character, that's what saved it a little bit for me. Because you can tell Hanks is really trying with this role to make a very villainous performance, and how he's saying, I'm the true hero of the story, and things like that. That is what saved it for me. If it wasn't for the voice and a little bit of the look, that's what was almost throwing it off. But I'll just say, for the rest of it, it worked just fine. I think it worked enough to make it a very serious film.
I thought the makeup and stuff was fine. It was just the accent was a bit... If they got rid of the weird foreign part of the accent, I think he would have been fine, because, again, the clip that we just saw of the real guy, he did not have that weird accent. He just talked like he was from down south.
And speaking of which, given that you mentioned makeup work, when you see Austin Butler's Elvis transform and age... Oh my goodness, it's up there with the best of Dick Smith. You really feel him age.
Yeah.
Like, how they did was great with him. And how you see him in his final form, he's like bloated and stuff. What a change of evolution. How he goes from this young 20-year-old person to him just singing Unchained Melody at this piano. Like, get me out of this. Like, oh my God.
Well, I think the scene of him singing at the piano...
I know they mix it with the real-life footage.
I think that all was the real-life footage.
I know. I mean, but you see like a tiny bit when it's in widescreen. You kind of get what I'm getting at. You really, when he ages, you really feel him age. Like how he goes from this high-energy character to slowly degrading. I thought that was actually very impressive.
Yeah.
If this, I hope this gets like a best makeup.
Yeah, I hope so, too.
It deserves it.
And I think his father was the Duke in Moulin Rouge.
We shall see.
I think he was. Because I'm looking at him, and when they had him getting older, and I think when they had him with the skinny mustache, it was like, I think that's the Duke from Moulin Rouge. And the age would be just about right, because Moulin Rouge came out, like, what, in the 90s?
No, Moulin Rouge...
Or 2000s?
It was in the 2000s. It was 2001, I believe.
So, yeah, that was around the time that... it's still kind of... Because early 2000s was very 90-ish.
Right.
But you can make the same argument, like,
2001.
Yeah, early 90 films still had 80 vibes to them.
Duke of Monmouth. Is that who you're referring to?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look here. Let's see here. Work with me. Let's see. Oh, he's in Van Helsing. Oh, he was the Count. That's who it was. Yep, you're right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Because I'm looking at him, he's like, he looks so familiar. It's like, I think that's the Duke.
Zoop.
Which it makes sense, because, that was the same director, and directors will use some of the same actors.
That's the Duke.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
There we go. Little comparison.
And his Elvis's mother looked familiar, too. I'm trying to think what I've seen her in.
Helen Thompson. Not Thompson, Thompson. Let's see here.
Yeah, that bit when they had her die, that was sad.
That was good.
This is one of those movies where it did make you cry a lot, especially near the end. Because at the end of the day, you realize this was, a real person.
Mm-hmm. And they treat it with respect.
Yes.
I didn't know she was in Kangaroo Jack. Do you recognize some of this? Let's try the TV listings.
It doesn't look like it. No. Oh, well.
It is what it is. No, this was good. This is ranking really high so far. I'm glad we got the chance to take a look at it.
Yes.
It's a very sad, very emotionally driven movie. I would definitely give it a high recommendation.
Yes, definitely. It's a good biopic. This is a biopic done right.
Mhm.
And I really hope it wins some awards because everyone did fantastic. It was a fantastic movie, and I feel like if Elvis was still alive, he would approve of it. I think he would definitely approve of it.
I hope so. You know, it's funny because a lot of people are saying, how some critics are saying that, oh, this is a very interesting storytelling method, how the manager that was with him is telling the story from their point of view and saying how original it is. I'm kind of wondering how long it will take until they compare it to Amadeus. Because that's a good one. Because you have the rival of Amadeus, like, retelling, how could they give this gift to someone who is always lazing about and things like that? And how he's, like, going after him and stuff. And that's the only other movie I can think of that does a storytelling method almost similar to that. But the big difference is that it's a movie about two composers that almost meet on the same level, but one of them is questioning so much, like faith, his own personnel, views and things like that, or else Mozart Amadeus is just doing his thing, trying to revolutionize music. Here, it's a whole lot different. So there's a similar storytelling method here, but it's far different because it's about someone that's trying to cash in on the success of Elvis and claiming it for his own, when we know it's something else. Oh, that's just my sister.
Ah.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, this was definitely a solid flick.
Yes, indeed it was.
Now, I know we went in and we caught the trailer for Avatar 2, so we got nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
But the trailer for Beast...
Did we talk about that the last time?
No, because we didn't get Beast.
I could have sworn we saw the Beast trailer.
Did we?
Well, maybe I saw it with Amanda. I don't know. Either way, it just looks stupid.
It's like Cujo, but with a lion.
And it's just dumb.
I don't know,
It's like
It's
a bad lion. Then leave the jungle. I need to protect my daughters. You can protect your daughters by leaving the jungle. I think I'm going to stay and try to kill it. Leave the jungle!
There's an airport right over there.
Well, it's not really a jungle, but you know what I mean.
I know.
It's like...
Was there a third one that we got? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It was
If we did, it wasn't memorable.
I could have sworn we got... Oh, hang on just a moment here. Yeah, I could have sworn I thought we had 3, unless it was just 2 and that was it.
We might have missed, like, the first trailer entirely. Because I know we saw the tail end of Avatar 2, which, again, not interested in seeing. And then Beast.
Maybe it was just those 2 and that was
Yeah.
afterward. Wait, no, I remember now. Mission Impossible
Oh!
7 Part 2.
Part 1, actually.
That's what I said, Mission Impossible 7 Part 1.
You said Part 2, you goob.
Did I say Part 2?
Yes, you did. It's okay.
Why does everything have to be Avengers Infinity Wars?
Yeah, because...
Just make it its own thing. Don't put it in a part 1 or 2.
Well, they're trying to... Well, it started with the Harry Potter movies. Because they split Deathly Hallows into 2 movies, which was understandable. And then Twilight's like, we're going to do that too, even though we don't need to. And then everyone's like, okay, we're going to do 2-part movies. It's like... I mean, with Infinity War and Endgame, it did work. Originally, Endgame was going to be called Infinity War Part 2, but I think it worked better that it was called Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen, like, maybe I think I've seen, like, 1 Mission Impossible movie. I didn't know what to think of it. My sister and my mother were laughing at it just because of how over-the-top one of the fight scenes was. And my sister just likes to watch those movies because they're just dumb fun.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. It's like the Fast and the Furious movies. It's like a losing count.
The first one's okay. Second one, not good. Third one's alright. Fourth one, I think, was when it started to pick up a little better. I think like number 5 better, because that had Simon Pegg and he was doing a lot more with that. Fallout. All I remember is Henry Cavill was in it. There was a helicopter chase near the end, and they brought back one character from the first movie, but that was just about it. Outside from that, the fact that it has a part 1 attached to it is weird.
Yeah.
I lean over to you. There's a shot at the end of the trailer where Tom Cruise just jumps off a cliff. I just go, I swear, if that's the final shot from the movie and they just end it there, I will say, wow, the boldest move on that. To put it to be continued there. Is he gonna come off the cliff? Is he gonna survive jumping off the cliff? Are we gonna know we're going through here?
I
Oh!
like to think it would. It's like the beginning of part 2 is just like it shows his skeleton like he's been there dead for like a month now, and he's just like, and then the others are like, welp, this isn't good.
He flies in midair. Credits to be continued next year. Then comes part 2. Yeah, I survived.
Or it's like
Go figure.
Wile E. Coyote.
They cut to black right before he hits the ground. And the movie starts them hitting the ground. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Credits.
Or it's like in The Simpsons where Homer's trying to teach Bart a lesson, so he goes to skateboard down a cliff. He's like,
Oh, Bart the
I'm gonna make it.
Daredevil.
Woohoo, woohoo,
Oh.
woohoo, and then he doesn't make it.
Do. Ooh, skateboard. Ooh. They pick him up in the ambulance and the crashes. He goes over the gorge again. Ah! Do. If you think you have a hard time being a daredevil, try raising my kids. I love that episode.
Oh my god. That's just the one thing I remember. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna make it. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Oh no. Well, next time we're probably going to see Thor. I don't think it's going to top this. Hopefully we'll enjoy it, but time will tell.
I hope it's good.
We shall see.
I mean, regardless if it's good or bad, we'll see it.
Yes, we will.
I'm not going to say, well, I'm just going to go, oh, that happened. It's always next week.
Yes. And they are re-releasing Spider-Man No Way Home.
I did hear about that with extra
extended,
footage,
yes.
so I'm curious
like,
about that.
Yeah, Amanda definitely wants to see that. Because, you know, when they released it on DVD, we thought it was going to have, like, all the bloopers and and it's like, nope, it's just the normal movie. And then Amanda's like, what the heck? And then when they said they were going to re-release it uncut, it's like, oh, well, that's why. So they're probably going to release another Blu-ray of the extended version.
They did the same thing.
Money.
They did the same thing with Far From Home too. They added on like an extra 5 minutes to the opening, which I thought was a bit of a cheat.
I don't know if I saw I don't think I did.
That is on the Blu-ray. It's just a short of him selling his action figures, getting extra dough for like the vacation, him stopping like a crime mafia in a restaurant.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's literally the new scene they added back in that was so important. Extra 5 minutes. Like, you're just doing this so you can beat the record of Endgame and Avatar.
Yeah.
But at least here, it sounds like they're doing more footage. I heard a rumor that there's going to be a rematch between Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Green Goblin.
Ooh.
And if they're going to put that back in, I am damn sold.
Yes, that would be nice.
All right.
Well, I'll have to get some food. Bye, guys.
Until next time. I can't find the button on this thing.
Oh no, technical difficulties.
Will he find it? To be continued. Wait one more year. The Elvis Presley Review Part 2 coming out where we take a look at the Kurt Russell movie. I wish I saw that in advance to compare, but maybe it's for the best.
You'll have to let me know how it goes.
I certainly will, my love. I certainly will. And don't worry, if I ever become famous, I'm not moving into a mansion, hiring a manager that looks like a Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel. Who has a German accent.
A really bad German accent.
That's one word. Did it sound weird when he's... Did it sound like he was trying to say snowman instead of showman? I am a true snowman. We're gonna...
Well, I think because he was making snow. Snow, and nothing but snow.
I would have loved the movie more if they did this, and they just had the Snow Miser song playing in the background. I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I Mr. Icicle. I'm Elvis manager, you know. Friends call me Colonel Parker, not the Chicken Man. Because I steal all the money I can, it's not enough.
Dun, dun, dun. Not enough.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's end it there. Later.